And what's good? Welcome back to the TSF Entertainment Channel. It's your boy Retro CG, and I'm joined tonight by the Bell Perspective in the building with us.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back.
Thank
And
you.
of course, we got the First Lady of TSFE in the building, Miss Really B TV. She'll be joining us on camera in a minute. All right, ladies. So
That is
we here to
me.
talk
I'm
about. She's here, present and accounted for.
Yes.
So we are here tonight to talk about Bel-Air. So we're going to do like a quick season 1 recap, and then we want to talk a little bit about what we're going to expect for season 2 that's airing tomorrow. I can't wait. I'm excited.
I
I'm
know,
here
right?
for it. I am going to hit you guys with this intro real quick, and we will be back to talk about it. All right, and welcome back. What did y'all think about? Well, let's start with you, Belle.
Yeah.
We'll start with you. What did you think about Bel-Air? Because you're new to the channel, so what did you think?
Yeah. Okay, so my first initial thought was, this ain't Uncle Phil. Y'all playing too much. No, thank you. But I had to come back to it, sit down, and really like clean the slate and be like, okay, this is a brand new show. They're maybe using old characters, but they're telling a new story. So I liked it. I really liked it. I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm intrigued.
Okay. Really, B, what was your thoughts?
I loved season 1. I mean, it had its ups and its downs. You know, you guys can go back to our playlist and we reviewed the season, but I definitely loved the season. I love the idea of them because I'm gonna be honest, when they first announced it, I was like, I don't want this because I thought it was just gonna be like a reboot. You know, I thought they were just gonna be like a sitcom reboot, and I was like, I don't want this. Like, I don't want no reboot. And then when I saw the trailer before the show came out, I was like, oh, wait a minute,
Right.
this is different. And so I definitely was here for, like I said, there was some parts of the storyline that I didn't like, but overall, I thought it was great. I think the acting is great. I thought the writing was pretty good, and I'm definitely excited to see what we're going to get in season 2.
Okay, so for me, I enjoyed season 1 as well. I pretty much had the same feelings everyone else probably had going in, like, oh God, do not take an iconic show and just mess it up.
Yeah.
But the writing was on par.
Yep.
The casting was on par. And the fact that they flipped it from a comedy to a drama, I really enjoyed that. Because it gave you some elements of like real dark at some points. Like there could have been a murder at any point. Well, actually, I think there was. I think there was.
Yeah, they're close. Yes.
There was.
Yep.
I believe there was.
The biggest thing,
actually, yes,
the biggest thing was it was. It was. I think the biggest thing was Carlton's. I think the drug use with Carlton.
Yes.
I think was one of the biggest, because I mean, let's be clear. A lot of what they showed us with Carlton is kind of the Carlton. It was just put out in a funny way. Him having to be the overachiever, him wanting the attention. There were even episodes about him feeling some kind of way once Will got there and taking away some of it. So all of that was real. They just took it from comedic and made it drama. But the drug use, and I think even going back to last season, you guys can probably go back and see it. I think I fought it. We were trying to argue about whether it was cocaine or whether it was pills. Like I remember us having that disagreement. I was like, no, it's not. That wasn't cocaine. Because I guess I just could not wrap my brain around cocaine. I guess I was okay with, oh, he's taking pills for anxiety, or he's this, he's that, which he was. But then I think, wasn't it also cocaine?
I don't know.
Wrong about that?
I think he was crushing.
Xanax.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a good point, really, be because they left it to interpretation. Because they never really said for sure what he was snorting, that he was just snorting. And so it kind of left to interpretation that is it Xanax, is it Coke? So that to me added a little mystique to the fact that this is a drama, and it's possible that Carton could be on drugs. So to me, that element of it just really made it so surreal for me that this is not the same show that we are used to. And I mean, I enjoyed it. So the season starts off pretty much how we remember the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, with Will and his mom. And Will is the star athlete at his school, and they also made him an honor student as well. He made good grades. He was pretty much a good kid. He was in the process of possibly obtaining a basketball scholarship to a school in Richmond, and he was gearing up for that. And in the midst of all that, it turned out that there was this rival between maybe one of the thugs in the neighborhood that kind of challenged him, and Will wasn't going to back down, and they end up going to do this street ball thing late that night while his mom was at work. His friend Trey, which is from the original show, Trey, but he wasn't such an integral part in the last show. But in the reimagined version, I think he's going to play a bigger role in Will's life. Trey brings out a gun, and initially his thought process was, I'm going to bring this for protection because we playing with these hoodlums, these thugs. We just want to make sure that we make it home safe. And of course, they win the game. The neighborhood drug dealer, I think his name was Rashad. Rashad, neighborhood drug dealer, ends up, placing a bet, $2,000, that if my dude wins the game, then you guys are gonna come work for me. And of course, they end up winning the game. The dude that Will was playing, I don't even remember his name, end up getting mad and threw the basketball and hit the neighborhood drug dealer, and so that started the conflict with them. It's a big brawl there on the court, and Trey ends up catching a beat down, and Will runs over to the backpack and gets the gun and fires it in the air. I think what he messed up at is when he pointed the gun at Rashad, and from there we knew that was going to be a point of no return for Will.
Pretty much,
yeah.
And he ended up getting arrested, and that's when Uncle Phil comes in on the white horse, saves the day, gets the case thrown out, and you can't go back to life the way you do it. So he had to end up getting out of jail that morning, and because he got out of jail without going before a judge overnight, Rashad's thinking that, okay, you snitching, you telling. And so he threatened him there at the jail that, he was not going to make it. And so
right,
ended up sending him to Bel-Air to live with his aunt and uncle, which we kind of learned even in the initial conversations, we kind of learned that they were somewhat estranged. They had not seen that side of the family in quite some time.
Yes.
And so Will was reticent, didn't really want to go, refused to want to go, but, he had no choice. His mom was like, what did you think was going to happen? You pulled a gun on Rashad. You got to get up out of here.
Okay.
And so from there, when he gets to Bel-Air, we meet Jazz, who's got multiple hustles going on. He got the record store. He's the Uber driver. He got everything going on. I like Jazz.
I do. I love this new Jazz.
I like.
He's not a bum. He's not irritating. He's not dumb.
He's not getting kicked out of the house every episode.
Yes. Yeah, he's got his own business. Yes.
And he's got his head on straight, oddly enough.
Yep.
because we see that he gave Will some good advice. Initially, he told Will that, listen, don't get lost in this city. You can get lost in this city. Like, it's full of glitz and glamour, but there's a dark side to this. So, you got to be careful, what you get yourself into out here. And he even tried to be I'm not going to say he tried to be a calm source of reasoning with Hillary and her situation that she had going on with the thirsty chef in the video.
Yep.
He was trying to support her in all that.
Yep.
But of course, she got enamored with the views and the sponsorship with Victoria's Secret, and she got lost in the fact that they came there to pretty much make that dude Kylo, I think, take the video down.
Yeah.
My question to you all is, what do you think about this new Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv?
I'll just go real quick. It took me a while to get, because I'm so used to James Avery. I've grown to love his character. R.I.P. James Avery. R.I.P. James Avery. And I thought he was such a great actor. So, like, he can play anything. He can do drama, comedy. He can do it all. So I was a little hesitant about this character, the husband, Aunt Viv, and Uncle Phil. I like Aunt Viv's character, but Uncle Phil still seems stiff, like very stiff. So I don't know. I'm still working out that character. I'm not sure how I feel about him specifically.
It took me a while as well. Not so much Aunt Viv, but Uncle Phil, because I always felt like there was something up with him. Like I didn't trust him.
Right.
Exactly. It was about him. I kept and by the end of the season, like I liked him and I felt like he hadn't really done anything for me not to try, but I don't know. It just I don't trust him. I'm still kind of side on him.
Exactly.
I'm going to tell you what it is. What it is they did a great job with how they reimagined his character, because with James Avery's portrayal of Uncle Phil, he was straight laced.
Yes,
he was a father figure. He was, Mr. Do the right thing. Mm-hmm. We see with this Uncle Phil that he will get his hands dirty. He won't personally get his hands dirty, but he has the hired help that will.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that he will kind of color outside the lines to get what he wants.
Yeah.
So I really like that version of Uncle Phil, because he seemed to be like, I'll put that work in if I have to put that work in. But I think out of all the characters, the biggest change was probably with Jeffrey. I really like Jeffrey.
Me too. I like it. Yes.
He was a source of comedy.
I don't really. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I hope I don't have a delay again. No, I don't think it was that big of I think, again, because it was a sitcom, it was played down a lot. But there was always something about Jeffrey's character that let you know he was more than a butler. Like, remember the time when they was hustling with the pool table?
I knew that's what you was talking
Jeffrey,
about. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was always something about, definitely not to the extent that we saw on the show, but it was always that hint of Jeffrey's character. It's more to him than just a butler. You know what I mean?
That's
but
true.
I agree. I definitely love. Yeah, I definitely love what they did with his character, though.
Yeah, I'll agree with you as far as like the original Jeffrey. There was always more to him because he was able to hustle those guys at the pool hall, like you said.
Yep.
But this reimagined Jeffrey is not as dark and scary as, the original Jeffrey is not as scary as this current Jeffrey. If that makes any sense. Like, this current Jeffrey look like he don't have no problem scrapping, doing whatever he got to do to get the job done. The original Jeffrey seems still kind of, you see there's more to him, but that's just Jeffrey. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And the original Jeffrey was kind of like, which it seems like they're trying to do it with this retelling, but to me, the original Jeffrey was kind of somewhat of a mentor to the whole family, because there was times where he had to take Will under his wing and point Will in the right direction. There was times where you seen he even had to get Uncle Phil together. So the original Jeffrey was a source of wisdom to the family. And the new Jeffrey is too, but he's more of the muscle.
Yes.
He's more of the get Uncle Phil's dirty work done. But you also see that he has taken an interest and a liking to Will and wanting the best interest for Will. That's where him and Uncle Phil kind of led to their conflict, was because ultimately Jeffrey made the decision to help Will find his father against Uncle Phil's wishes. And so with that created conflict with them. But I like how he wrote for the family, even right down to Ashley. When Ashley was sneaking off and hanging out with the gaming friends or whatever, it was his job to protect the family. But I think that we haven't seen the end of Jeffrey. We saw that he got fired, and we saw that it was very hard for Uncle Phil to let him go. But I think he will be back in season 2. I do think that he's going to be back. I think he's still going to be looking out for the family from afar. He's just not on payroll anymore. But I think he's still going to, especially look after those kids. I still think that he's going to be there and be he's probably going to be the one that probably brings Will back in, because Will is very broken right now and don't want to trust his family. I think the only person that he really can trust right now is Jeffrey.
And I hope we're going to get that backstory, like maybe in a series of flashbacks or something, that we find out what is the origin of Uncle Phil and Jeffrey, because clearly him being manager really is a front, and there's definitely a deeper relationship there. I mean, even at the end of the season, I was like, no, for real, what's going on with Jeffrey? Like, everybody, it's more than just the house, like you said, it's more. So I'm hoping that we get that backstory.
Yeah.
I think we will.
Yeah. He even has a son that is out there that I'm interested in finding out about. So
I guess with this version of Jeffrey, I was never really interested in Jeffrey's backstory in the original show, but this one I am. I'm very interested in him because I do believe there is a story to tell, and I do believe that we're going to see what brought them together, what brought him to the Banks family. So, and I'm here for that. I'm ready to see that.
Yeah, me too. I want
Hillary. What's your thoughts on Hillary?
Love Hillary. I love Coco Jones.
Yeah, she does some good music too. She has some good music.
She's an excellent singer. I have some qualms about her latest album, but I ain't gonna go there. I think she's an excellent singer, though.
Yeah, that latest album needs a little work. It needs a little work.
God. Don't even get me started. We can talk about that on another day. But yeah, I like Coco. I'm sorry, Hillary. I like Hillary's character. I think they casted her well. She dressed well. I'm like, girl, that's cute. What you got on, girl? Where you got that from? She dresses cute. And I like the fact that they didn't make her to be ditzy. I can't watch no more black women on TV being ditzy. I appreciate that. Yes.
Hey, come Xavier. Hey, boo.
She does. No, wait a minute. She does have an up-tempo song, isn't it? No Chaser. No Chaser. Is that on the new album or?
I don't know. I have to.
No Chaser is an up-tempo song.
It is. That's up-tempo.
Yeah.
Well, that is on the latest album, but
it's the most up-tempo.
That's what I'm saying. She got that sleepy girl music.
And then what's the song that she got with is it Lotto? She got a song with Lotto that's pretty good.
Hold on. Is that on the newest album or the another one?
I thought so.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up. My thoughts on Hillary was I like the fact that she was, kind of similar to the previous version of Hillary, because you remember Hillary had all different types of careers and she didn't really know what she wanted to do. She was the weather girl one moment, she was doing this the next moment, or whatever the case may be. I like mid-tempo at best. I do like the fact that she is confident. I like the fact that they gave her a talent, and her talent was with her culinary skills. And I like the fact that she cooked for the family and she believed in her work. Just like any person who's an artist or a performer or whatever, you stand behind what your brand is. And you're not going to allow someone else to change your brand for mainstream. So I like the fact that she stood up for herself when the folks came around and told her that her food was too spicy and that her target audience wasn't her family, and that she needed to tone down her colors when she dressed and all that. So I really stood for that. I hated the fact that Aunt Viv didn't really support her in the fact that she raised a strong Black woman and that she wasn't just going to roll over just for a 6-figure check, that she wanted to take what she enjoyed and make a career out of it, but she didn't want to be rearranged in doing so. So I really like that part of her, but I think the decision with the influencer house and subsequent decisions thereafter, leaving the influencer house, is going to put her in a bit of a mess that she ain't going to be able to get out of, because she thinks that this homegirl of hers that's getting ready to go buy the influencer house is her saving grace. No, she's going to be in a bigger problem that she was in with Paolo, is what I think.
That's Karuchi Tran's character, right? This girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see your points. I think they did do. They didn't make her ditzy, but they did make her non-committal. If you remember, part of Aunt Viv's issue was you keep changing your mind. You started college, you didn't finish college, you wanted to do this, you didn't want to do that. And so I'm trying to help you find a steady income in what you said you wanted to do, which is good. And I think it's a great dynamic in understanding our parents' generation versus our generation. And maybe not quite our parents, because my parents are older, but even that maybe 50-year-old, because this whole influencer thing is new. And there's a lot of people that look on, oh, you're just a YouTuber. Oh, you're an influencer. Like, there are people who still have that because, but I'm like, but you don't realize that people are making millions of dollars on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. And there are people who absolutely make these careers. Now, is it going to be around in 30 years? Maybe not. But a lot of careers may not be around in 30 years. And so I think that's a valid point that you make, Retro, but that's realistic to where we are in our society today, that I think a lot of our parents just don't get it. And so it's like, listen, you take the steady paycheck, you might have to eat a little bit of criticism, might have just some things. That's called a real job. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. Like, I don't think it's so much that she knows she raised a confident, young lady, but I also think that I think maybe she thinks that maybe I spoiled her a little touch and it's a little too easy too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it's funny you should say that, because Uncle Phil, he gets it, because he even tried to explain it to Aunt Viv when he read the bios on the influencers, and he was telling her, like, listen, these folks are making millions, representing the brands that they're representing. So you just look at it as they're just on social media or whatever, but you don't understand that they're making money.
Right.
And, they're doing well for themselves.
He's in business too. I mean, he's an attorney. Yeah, he's an attorney, but he's also in the business world. He's seeing it. So I agree.
And having been in business for himself, because people oftentimes forget that lawyers who are in private practice, it's a business.
That's true.
And it has to be ran as such.
Yeah.
It has to be ran as such. So I think they were very creative with how
he even has some clients.
Yeah. And I think we're going to see more of his backstory as well. In the new season.
I have one thing that I want to add to this, and it may be a little bit different, the dynamic between Vivian and Hillary. I think that yes, part of her wants her to grow up and stick to that one thing, like is it Gen X, I think that came before or whatever, that wants you to like stick to a job. Right. The generation before her who wants, stick to a job, you stay on it, you retire in 30, 40 years. I think there may be just a little bit, and y'all don't hold me, there may be a little bit of jealousy. And not jealousy like you don't want your daughter to do well, but like your daughter has the opportunity. First of all, she has the confidence in who she is, because that's one thing that Vivian is struggling with. She's an amazing artist, but she's not secure in her artistry. Her daughter is, right? And that's something you may unconsciously be jealous about, right? Then the way that her dad just jumps in to save the day, like, and has no problem, there may be a little bit of
resentment.
A little bit of resentment. Like, I had to figure this out. I had to sacrifice so much. You can't have it all, so you need to be sacrificing like I did. That I feel like there may be a tinge.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a great point.
I agree with you 100%. And I also think that not just from the point of view of I had to do this, but from the point of view of you have the guts to do what I was afraid to do.
That's it.
And that's a little bit of, and again, not in a mean way, not in a mean way, not in a she hates her daughter kind of way. But I do think that I agree with you 100% that especially the deeper we got into the season and the more we got to see Aunt Viv's story with what her walking away from art and why she walked away from art and her regrets about it and trying to go back. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
You're on to something with that, actually, Belle. You're very much on to something with that, and I wholeheartedly agree with your thought on that. Mm-hmm. Because when her and Uncle Phil were out in LA at the art festival thing, she kind of unloaded on him as to what she was frustrated about. The fact that her husband never supported her in getting back into art. Everyone else around her was asking, when are you going to start back painting again? When are you going to start back painting again? And it was very upsetting to her that her own husband had never asked, hey, why aren't you painting anymore? When are you going to go back to painting? So for there, I think that there's some resentment to that, because you're right. He does run to, and she even said it in an episode that, your dad's always there to bail you out or whatever the case may be. But part of it is she just didn't feel like she had the support from her husband to do so. And she lacked the confidence because, one, being a Black female, two, the fact that her husband's career is now starting to take off and put her in the background. Mm-hmm. She just didn't know what to do with that. And you're a mother to kids that are growing up. So it's like, what's my purpose? I need to find something to do with my time now. I need to find something to do that makes me happy. While she's watching everyone else live their dreams, hers are on hold still. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. What's up, King Retro? Also, when you walk away from something as a creative, it's hard getting back into it. You feel like the trends have passed you by. Like, we saw, her kind of struggle with that when she went back to start painting. And it was like, that, have we moved on from that type of art, And that's always a thing, too, that you walking back into. Mm-hmm. It's funny, LL Cool J today announced that he's scrapping his album. Remember, working on an album, would have been his 10th album. And he's working on his album, but he scrapped it. And he said it's just not good. And it's just not, and when it's making me think about, is it maybe he's walked away too long? Maybe he's gotten into other things and the passion just isn't there. Like, music is still my first love. I make music that people want to buy today. Like, I know I can still go in the studio and rap, but does anybody want to hear it? And I think that might be part of what he might be struggling with. He might even be almost even afraid to put an album out and hear what people have to say.
Compared to what music is like today,
Right. For the people who are new, Xavier is the baby of the crew. He's our baby. He's our gen. I don't even know what generation you are, Xavier. So he's talking about some. Is LL still
Yeah.
doing sound, Xavier?
While we're on the subject of Aunt Viv, what do y'all think about this new character that we got, Reed? He's a little.
Listen, Michael Ealy is always not to be trusted. It don't matter what character he plays. I always gotta say him. I always have to give him a side.
Always. You
So
always got to side.
I don't trust his intentions. I don't trust nothing.
Nope. Hide your kids, hide your wife. I'm telling you. He ain't to be trusted.
And neither does Uncle Phil. Uncle Phil ain't here for it.
Good. And I was like, you better go ahead, Uncle Phil. You better keep your eye.
Do not leave your wife alone.
Uncle Phil.
Right, I'm with you, Uncle Phil. Do not leave your wife alone with this dude.
Yeah.
Because he's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Okay.
Steal Your Girl.
The original. Ooh.
He is up to no good. He is up to no good. So I think that Jeffrey will continue to keep an eye on him. Uncle Phil did the right thing, even though it led to a bit of discord with him and his wife. But I still think as a husband that was, a little bit kind of like, you know what, I haven't been doing my job. And hear this smooth talker come along, whisper in my wife's ear about how great and phenomenal and talented she is. I might need to step out here and find out what's going on before this becomes a problem.
King Retro said because he light skin, it's because he light skin.
Well, he said it.
No.
He said it.
King Retro, you kind of look like him.
Yeah, the light eyes and everything. Yep.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, you kind of look like him, King Retro.
That's your brother.
Are you telling on yourself? You telling on yourself then? Is that what that is?
Right.
You telling on yourself?
Don't hold him. You brought it up. You brought it to our attention, rather. Okay. So with that, well, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat.
Talk about my light skin brother.
So with that being said, how do we feel about the tension between Aunt Viv and Vi? I don't feel like in the original show they had that much tension. And is it back to what you were saying, Belle, about the jealousy?
I think it's a combination of all of that. On the sitcom, there was tension there, but it was because again it was a sitcom, so they never really went that deep. It definitely wasn't on the level that it was explained here. I feel like it's almost like survivor's remorse kind of thing. Like, yes, you told her to go and be an artist and do all these things, and she did. You helped her to go, and she did, and she didn't become successful in the way that y'all envisioned, but she still became successful, and it's almost like now you resent her for it. So I don't know. That's again. I think we need to dig deeper into that. I hope we will.
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. No. I'm with you, B, because we need to dig a little bit deeper. There's definitely obviously a few going on, and I feel like you said, survivor's remorse. I need to figure out more of which one is it? Vi and then Vivian? Is it Vi and then Vivian? I can't remember.
Vi's Will's mama and then Aunt Viv.
Okay, Vi's Will's mom, and okay. She said something about, now you're trying to take my son away. So I'm just like, or now you're trying to are you trying to replace me or something? So I don't know. I hate to just say it's jealousy, because that's just so easy to point out within these two characters specifically. I don't know. Like you said, I just need to see more. I need to see more, and then maybe we can kind of.
I need them to dig deeper. Yeah, I need to see more. I
Yeah.
need them to dig deeper into that. Because again, it's not going to be an easy fix because it does sound like it's something that's been going on for years. The one thing I do like, and this goes back to where we started. I'm not even saying when you first brought it up, but the one thing I do like was they made Will's mom very street smart. Like the fact that Will's mom was like, dude, you pulled a gun on, and she didn't even say on a drug deal or whatever. She said, you pulled a gun on Rashid, whatever. Like,
yes.
it was very street smart of her to I see it, understand it. I'm glad. The one thing we said this when we were reviewing the show, they gave us the backstory. They almost played out the theme song, but they didn't drag it out. Like they didn't make it 3 episodes of him in Philly and going through all. It was like 1 episode. Let's get through it. We know what happened.
Yep.
And so I feel like they did the same thing with his mom. Instead of having to have a bunch of arguments about, Mom, I'm in trouble. Mom, she was like, you're gonna get your ass up out of here.
Yep. Yeah. You got to go.
She had already packed him up. We're going.
Yes. Was on the way to the airport. Didn't even tell.
Right.
Yep, she had already had it packed up.
Yes. Do not collect $200. You got to go.
Out of here.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I like her character. I like who they picked.
Don't know. I don't like her character. Really? Well, let me rephrase that. I don't like the storyline between her and Bel because she was just so extra. That episode she came for the birthday, she was just doing the most. Like she was just like upset about the shoes. She was upset about the shoes. She was upset about the lunch.
I could understand why. Okay, so Vi is probably a nurse. Every scene we see, she's working in a nursing home
or something around.
Yes. Yeah. And she at work. So she's a nurse. She's probably not making as much money as
they are.
They are not probably, obviously not making as much money as they are. So it's kind of like, this is my son who I birthed. I'm trying to show him something special. And here you are buying him these
expensive things. Champagne life.
Yeah, showing me up. This is like, dang, you couldn't have did that on another day.
You're right, because she did make a comment in the episode that I'm not finished raising my son, but he's also old enough to decide where he wants to, go as far as his future is concerned. So I think that's part of why she was so just extra, because she was upset with the fact that Will had not made up his mind to come back.
Yeah. And I think she knew he wasn't going to come back because it's lavish. They're offering him all these things that she knows she can't offer him. How do you
opportunity? That?
An opportunity that how could she ever be able to do that? And as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I could imagine as a parent, I would want to be able to offer my kids the world.
And not only that, there seems to be harboring some resentment with the whole mother situation. Their mother was sick and she had to stay and take care of him. She helped Viv get into the art world. She bought her first paint set.
Yep.
She helped her through college and everything. So again, it's your dreams have came true.
Yeah.
Mine are now. My child is with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I can understand from that respect, but I hope that they tone that down a little bit. Because it's a bit distracting at times. It's a bit distracting because there's so much other conflict going on in that household, and her being on the outside of the household and adding conflict to it. It just, to me, it takes a little bit away from the story. If she was there in Bel-Air with them and a recurring character, but every scene that she's in and every time she comes around, I don't want to see that conflict. I want to see another side of her.
Yeah.
And I want to learn about, because it kind of almost makes you think that, Vi is not squeaky clean herself, even though she tries to portray herself to be. Because even with Lou was like, she kept putting so much pressure on me. I made a poor decision to go out here and rob this dude or whatever the case may be. But your mom ain't all what you think she is either.
You believe him?
I believe that.
My boyfriend said the same thing. He was like, I believe him. I'm like,
I believe that.
I don't know about that.
I think that's a man thing, because at the end of the day, he's putting on you to take your damn kid. She ain't say go rob a bank.
That's what I'm saying. She just take care of your kid.
Like, I don't think you can put that on her.
That's what I was saying too, Xavier. I agree with you on that, Xavier. That's kind of where I was going with that. Like, if that's the case, if you still want to be in your son's life, there's nothing keeping you in Philly anymore. You're the thing that you love the most is there. You can move there too and work at a hospital in Bel-Air. So, I mean, you're not on the outside,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're not on the outside, but she's acting like everyone is pushing her away and pushing her on the outside. No, they're not. They flew you out on a private jet. They're not pushing you out of his life. They're trying to give him a better life, and you too can take advantage of that opportunity.
But better is relative, and that's her issue. Better is relative. But for the last what 10 years, it's just been him and her. Exactly. And they have a good life. Yep. You know what I'm saying? They have a good life, at least from her perspective. They may not be rich, but they wasn't poor. Their house, I mean, you can see their house. They lived in a nice house. Like, they lived in a nice house. They lived in a nice neighborhood. Yep. Well, relatively, Will had a room full of sneakers.
It wasn't slumming. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. They weren't in the project living off of, living off of food stamps or whatever. So I think, and I think that's the problem. I think that's exactly where her insecurity is coming from. It's like, look, he's going to go out here. He's going to go from living in a nice bedroom house, 2-room house to a mansion. He's going to go from having to wait till payday to get his new sneakers to getting, I mean, those sneakers that they gave him for his birthday, she wouldn't been able to yet had a addiction. Y'all been talking about it. So it's not, I think when we say a better life, and I just think we oversimplify saying, well, she can just move. You want this woman to pack up her whole life, everything she's ever known.
Exactly.
And move the country to nothing.
Right.
I mean, she doesn't know anybody out there other than her sister and her family, who she already doesn't have the best relationship with. So that's supposed to be the solution. Like, she can just pack up and move. I just oversimplifying that.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a real good point. All right. Moving on down the list, Ashley. What do we think about Ashley's story?
She's a little
I think they give her a storyline this season. I feel like they just kind of threw some stuff out there, threw some stuff at the wall, and was like, we hope it sticks. So I hope they flesh out. I hope we get more action time this season.
I think that we are, because I know Go ahead, Really B.
No, I was just saying she's an activist. She's exploring her sexuality. She's a big family. Like, I think they just threw a lot of stuff out there. So I hope they really, flesh it out. That's all.
Yeah, they need to develop. I agree. They need to develop her character a little bit more. And I think that we're going to get that with them adding Tatiana Ali, who played the original Ashley, to the show.
They are?
Yes. I think that we're going to get some interaction. Yeah. I think we're going to get some interaction.
I think she's a school counselor or something.
I think she's a teacher or a counselor or something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she works at the school.
Yeah, she works at the school, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I think that she's there for Ashley. I think that's part of the reason of bringing her on the show, to have those two characters interact. And I think we're going to get a little bit more development with her character. So let's see where it goes. I was a little concerned at first when she was sneaking off and going to meet with them friends. I'm like, oh God, I hope something don't happen to her.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, oh dear Lord, I can't handle this.
Yeah.
I can't. But yeah. Okay.
I'm glad they didn't make it that dark, because I thought something was going to happen to her where she would end up getting assaulted or something.
Me too.
Or kidnapped or exploited, so I'm really glad.
Yeah.
I am not feeling the police commissioner or chief or whatever. He's an ass.
Wilkes.
Oh, that's gonna be dirty this season.
He's dirty.
That's gonna
dirty.
Be dirty.
Yeah, ain't no clean in that.
Ain't nothing clean.
Nothing clean.
He was cheating on his wife before she even turned cold in her grave. Good Lord. And brought the lady. Hey Tracy,
how you doing?
And brought the lady to the memorial
Tracy? Hey, girl.
service. or to the annual.
It was the lupus fundraiser
Thank
dinner
you.
that they was doing.
Fundraiser. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would have had to.
Retro, we can't say those type of words on YT. It's unalive. It's unalive. Jeffrey looked like he wanted to give the business when
he really
did. Out of the house when they were putting him in the house. I felt the same vibe too. I felt like maybe the wife might have been in palliative care or something like that. Maybe, on her end days, maybe even in hospice. And you're out here on a golf resort with your mistress, and your daughter is that actually is a personal thing for me because that hit a nerve for me. So I know exactly how Lisa felt when she sees that her father is moving on so soon, and my mom's not even gone yet, and time hasn't even passed yet. I haven't even processed the fact that I've lost my mother. And here you are introducing a new woman to our life, a new baby. Right. Now I'm pushed to the outside. So I really like the fact that the Banks family was her second family.
Yes.
She could find comfort in, still having a mother figure in her life. Since we're on the subject of Lisa, I do not like the fact that her and Carlton were together. I just feel like that's misplaced. I feel like Carlton's character, the way he's been portrayed in season 1, would probably be with someone a little bit
lighter, much lighter.
Not even that. I'm not even gonna go to the colorism thing.
I mean not non-melanated at all.
Yes. Yeah, that too. I can see that. But the fact that he's so uppity and he's so kind of, when he talked about black people, he referred to them as these people.
Yes.
And the fact that he didn't see anything wrong with his white friend using the N-word and defended it, to me, it almost felt like Carlton would be with someone a little bit more affluent, with someone. It just doesn't seem like Lisa would have been his type, period.
Exactly.
And I just felt like that was misplaced. I just felt like that it was a plot point that was put there to create conflict with Will at inception. And the fact that she rejected him when he was trying to extort or blackmail Will to stay away from her and all this stuff, he was making comments to her or whatever. And, she pretty much told him, like, listen, you need to focus on you and getting some help. And, our time has passed. We're still cool. We're still friends. But, however, I'm not interested in you like that. So I think that he finally came to terms with the fact that Will and her are going to be a couple. But I like Lisa's character. I like what she stood for. She seemed to have a sense of morality about herself. But at the same time, I have to question a little bit of that morality because at the end of the day, you are wrong for getting in between two cousins. I'm sorry. You knew that this is your ex-boyfriend's cousin. You had no business going there with him, in my opinion.
I agree. That's just too messy.
It was messy. It was very, very messy.
I wouldn't have gotten involved in that. I don't really like Lisa's character. I don't. I like her, like the actor. I like her, but I don't really know if I like Lisa's character. I think she's a little bit self-absorbed, and the reason why I say that because they don't really try to portray that. They don't try to emphasize it, but I do think that she's a little self-absorbed because at the end, when Will went missing and he wasn't at her, he didn't meet her wherever she was.
At the coffee shop, yeah.
Thank you, at the coffee shop. And Carlton, first thing came out of his mouth was, Will is missing. And she was like, he didn't show up to the thing. But she said it in a way like he stood me up, not oh my God, he's missing. That's why he didn't show up to the coffee shop. It just seemed real. It took too long for her to realize that Will was in trouble. And I didn't like that.
And she seemed to come across very judgmental even after the fact when she found out,
That's it too.
There's a difference between lying to me just to be lying to me and lying to me because the consequences of my truth will hurt others. It's not just about me and you. It's about the fact that my uncle is in the middle of a campaign here.
Right.
This is a dark secret that really don't need to be told to nobody. It's not something that he needed to be blabbering all around town.
Right.
And the fact that she didn't understand the reasons why he was not honest with her, to me, I felt like that was justifiable. I felt like he wasn't lying to her just to be lying to her to get in her pants. He was lying. He was not even lying to her. He was just not involving her in things that she didn't need to be involved in that early on.
It was family business, and you
right.
were close to the family, but you had family. Right, family business. And I agree. I do think that was ridiculous. I think I said it when we were reviewing. I think that was ridiculous for her to not understand. Like, I understand being upset that he didn't confide, but once time I processed it, I don't understand why you still felt like I don't know. But I agree.
He was being dishonest. Like he was being dishonest to you. He wasn't being dishonest to you. It's family business, and what happens in this house stays in this house.
Yes.
That deal. So you didn't need to be involved in that.
No.
Xavier, that is a good point. Maybe she was dating Carlton out of pity because he was going through something. He really didn't have a support system with his family, and he was using, or at the very least abusing, his prescription medication at best. I don't disagree with your comment about them being cousins. Bro code doesn't apply. That's even worse. Cousins are almost like brothers or sisters. Like, that's family.
Yes.
And for a chick to come in between family, that doesn't get no worse than that. But they all will use just as much as poor judgment as Lisa. So it's not just an old Lisa thing.
Right.
It's Will as well, because Will should have known that I already in a tense situation with my cousin. He already don't like the fact that I'm here. He's already making things difficult for me. This is gonna make it better. This is gonna make it worse. So Will use poor judgment as well.
I agree.
But also remember, but I think too, what's up for Highness? I think part of Will's going after Lisa was to get at Carlton. I think he just ended up catching real feelings for her. But I think part of it was to bother him. I mean, I think he was attracted to her and he liked her, but it was an added bonus that it bothered Carlton. Because remember how deep and how bad it was in the beginning with them. Like, they really were going at it like that. And so I think that was part of it. And yeah, I agree, King Retro. They were both just messy, But I think, and I don't want to dig too deep into this because I feel like maybe I'm making a lot of conjecture of things they didn't show us. But I feel like the Carlton Lisa thing, I feel like it had been over for a minute. Like, I don't think it was new that it jumped up. I think Carlton hadn't let go of it, but I think Lisa had moved on before Will even got there. And even going back to them dating, Lisa and Carlton not necessarily. Remember they said, and if I'm wrong, y'all, I know, Belle, your memory is fresher than mine because you did this more recently than I did. But I really feel like I remember Lisa speaking to how Carlton was different. He wasn't always this bad.
Yes.
And I think part of Carlton that when he got to high, because he even said too, he said everything was easy before high school. And I think that before he started running with these boys, the white boys, that he was trying, be cool with them, be down with them. He was trying to, trying to be it with them. I think before it got that bad, I don't know if he was that bad. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, I think he was always a little arrogant. He was always, I think that was just who Carlton was. But I just don't know if it was as bad.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing where that story is going to go. I see a lot of talk online about she was meeting Will at the coffee shop to tell him that she was pregnant. No, she wasn't. She was meeting him there to try to work out their differences because she still did have feelings for him. But at the same time, she was trying to find a way to forgive him or allow him. Yeah.
Right. That was not
a way. They just had sex.
Yep.
I swear that's not how this works. Like that. It doesn't work like that.
Right. It doesn't work like that. She did
who
just
haven't we
said
talked
sex.
about? Who haven't we talked about? Let's see.
We talked about the
Hillary.
police commissioner. We talked about the, but I think we need to dig a little deeper from not dig deeper, but from the point of view of, well, maybe that goes into predictions for this season because that story is definitely not over.
Oh, you know who we haven't talked about? The asshole friend Trey. Like, I really was not pleased with Trey's behavior when he came out to Bel-Air. That's that jealous friend that you don't need up around you. But it kind of goes back to what you all were saying about Will's mom. Like, here he's been shot, he's been left behind, and
Right.
Will now has a whole new life. But again, he wasn't trying to forget you. He wasn't trying to write you out of his life. He flew you out here to spend the week with him and told you to come back anytime you want. He was trying to include you in his new life. But sometimes people can't be happy for you beyond looking at, I wish it was me. So I hope we don't see no more of him. I'm done.
I'm sorry. Will wasn't supposed to want more.
Exactly.
Does that make sense? Like, he wasn't supposed to want more than Trey. Trey was they were supposed to be in the same hood, same school, same whatever throughout their whole lives. And he wasn't supposed to want more. And I didn't remember that Trey was the one that brought the gun to the park. So Trey was already,
like, the whole thing was your fault.
Yeah. Now that I'm not. Thank you. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm like, he went through all this because of Trey and Trey's poor decisions,
and tried to protect him, because that was the reason why he went and got the gun, was because they were beating him down.
Exactly. I do remember that part. Yes. In order to stop him from fighting them, he shot the gun up in the air.
Yeah.
So Trey, and I hate to say this, I don't like to, write people off like that, but he was for the streets. Like, he wanted to be fully immersed in that. And I'm surprised he didn't already start veering off, and you know what I mean? I'm surprised he didn't go that way anyway. This may be, we haven't gotten predictions yet.
It's funny you should say that, because part of me almost felt like that whole he got shot and don't know if he's gonna make it was fabricated to kind of make Will feel bad about leaving him behind. So, and Will did exactly what Trey probably wanted him to do, was to try to come back. But we never did see him with a gunshot. We never did see him, because when they showed him talking on the phone, Will, he had a band-aid across his nose. Where did you get shot at? In the face? I didn't like his character. I thought his character was just too much. He was too much.
Yeah. It's like the crabs in a barrel.
So this is what I'm gonna say. Exactly. I'm gonna say two things. The first thing I'm gonna say is, I agree 100% that I think if it hadn't been that night, eventually he had Will in some issues.
It would have been another night.
Period.
Yep.
The fact that he was the one that bought the right. So I agree. But the second thing, and I ain't trying to preach, but this is why people tell you, and I know our parents used to tell us, we see it all the time with celebrities and especially with rappers that have a certain mentality. You can't take everybody with you. And I know that's a harsh thing to say, and I know that's going to come off real cold, but everybody is not praying for your success. So everybody can't be in the room. And I know that's a harsh reality. And I will never forget, I remember Oprah Winfrey, and I've said this a million times, and I'll keep saying it because it's stuck with me. I remember one time somebody asked her about her and Gail, and somebody was like, why do you think you and Gail have been able to be such good friends for all these years? And Oprah said, because Gail never wanted to be me. Gail never wanted to be Oprah Winfrey. She was like, you can't be friends with somebody who want to be you. She said Oprah went and got married. I mean, she said Gail went and got married. Gail had kids. Gail was very content in the life that she chose, and she was never envious. I won because we chose different paths, and she was okay with the path that she chose. So I think a life lesson, not to go too deep, but I think that's just a life lesson that everybody can't go with you.
No, I agree with you.
They say it all the time. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yep.
he
Absolutely right.
ain't supposed to be there for the long haul. He just wasn't.
No. You're absolutely right.
I know we put a lot of blame on Will, but we have to also remember that Will is a teenager and clearly wasn't using best judgment because the whole gun situation and the whole game and the bet and the pride. So, I mean, I feel like we put a lot of emphasis on the fact that he pursued Lisa. You have to also understand that initially, when he first got here, he was in a place where he was completely out of place with family that he hadn't seen in years. So he had to latch on to someone, the first person that showed him the first level of kindness, so it kind of developed from there. And I think that after he found out that she was previously involved with Carlton, he probably should have had a conversation at least with his cousin and said, hey, yo, I know this is your ex-girl and everything, but we're developing a friendship. I know that me and you are not in a good place or whatever, but I do at least want to have a conversation with you. But at the end of the day, he's a 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid.
Right.
He's not going to use the best judgment, even with the things that he did at the school. I feel like he evolved towards the season because even before they were intimate, his first concern was, we got to talk to Carlton about this. But it just kind of went faster than it should have, and he didn't get the opportunity to tell Carlton. But the damage is done. Is how he deals with it thereafter, I think, is what's going to make or break their relationship. But it seems that Carlton and Will are in a good place because when Will got ready to leave, Carlton begged him to stay, gave him the money, and even confided in Lisa that he has been there for me when I've been wanting to use and having my moments. I need him back in my life. So they are developing their relationship. So even though they didn't start off as cousins, they are now.
Yeah.
And whatever happens with Lisa, I think for the betterment of both of them, she just needs to go on and be the friend to the family. And neither one of them need to try to pursue a relationship with her because they are developing theirs. So any other thoughts on season 1 before we get into predictions?
I had a thought, but I can't remember it now. Oh, let me say, in the whole season, I felt like Will was like the magical Negro. I don't know how they like. Okay, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he just came and brought little magic to everybody's lives. I don't know if I like that. I want him to be.
But in the original show, he did the same thing because remember, he was Ashley's support system.
Okay.
He really did wonders with Carlton over the course of the show.
That's true.
Whatever. So I think even with Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil, he added a little spark to their lives. That missing element that they didn't have. They had a better relationship with Will than they had with their own children.
That's true. Okay.
And Will supported the family wholeheartedly. He supported Uncle Phil. He supported Aunt Viv. He supported the only person that you really didn't see him interact much with was Hillary and Ashley.
Right.
Now, he did have little conversations with Hillary when he was playing the piano and stuff like that. But in the original show, him and Ashley were very close.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that their relationship develops. But I kind of like that fact that it wasn't necessarily something he was doing purposely. He was just being who he was. And because he was so free-hearted.
That's who he was,
yeah. Because he was so free-hearted, I think he brought that missing element to the family that just made them kind of just dull and boring. And, they were getting wrapped up in that Bel-Air life.
Yeah.
And he brought their authentic nature back to the family, that we are a Black family.
Yeah. No. Okay.
So I think he gave them a little spark.
Yeah.
At times they were a little over the top with it. At times they were a little over the top with it. I will give you that.
Thank you. That Yamakra episode, I cringed. I was like, boy, if y'all sit down.
Yeah.
It was very, you don't have to save the day every time in every episode. You can sit down. That was getting a little old. But I hear what you're saying. I can't.
What I'm confused about, and I have to go back and watch the last 2 episodes again before tomorrow. I'll do that tonight. What I'm confused about is why is Will so upset with the family about his dad?
Thank you. That was the other thing I was gonna bring up. What did you met the man? He wasn't. I'm trying not to curse.
He wasn't what you expected, right? He left a bad taste in your mouth.
Yes. So obviously he showed who he was immediately. Why would
everyone had been telling you already?
Because they lied to him. But they lied to him.
About what?
I mean, the reality is no, he wasn't who I thought he was. Remember, Uncle Phil lied. That's why Jeffrey had to go behind Uncle Phil's back and tell Will, look, this is where your dad is. Remember, Uncle Phil lied and was like, I can't find him. I don't know where he is. I don't know. Like, everybody lied to him about his father. I don't remember the fix of the whole story, but remember his mom lied about where his father was and stuff. And also remember, he believes the story that his father is telling him. I mean, I know he sees that his father ain't shit, but he believes it. And yeah, like Xavier said, they took away his choice.
Okay.
They lied to him.
I did. They took away his choice. Yeah, that. I guess.
I guess when you say it like that,
I guess it makes sense. But also, going back to what you said a few minutes ago, we take into consideration everything that this kid has been through in the last year. You know what I'm saying? You add that's just that icing on the cake. So, but I had to go back and look at it too because I think it was more too. I just don't remember. I feel like it was deeper, but I think I remember that much about the father thing. But
he's upset with the whole family
about it.
Yeah, he's upset with the whole family. So I think it's a little bit deeper than that. I think that's the premise to all of it. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering if we're going to, if that's the case, going into season 2, if we're going to get to the point where you remember when him and Carlton moved out and they got their own place, and remember they were living in the pool house for a while. I think we're too early in the story for them to be out on their own yet.
Yes,
I'm not ready for them to be out on their own yet. But with him running off like this, and is he going to go move in with Jazz now? Is him and Carlton?
I think that's where he ends up going to because in the trailer it looks like that's where he is.
At Jazz's house. Okay.
So Jazz is supposed to be much older than him. He's supposed to be the same age as Hillary.
I guess so.
Okay.
I guess so.
Yeah, he's a little bit older. And remember, Jazz.
Go ahead.
Right. And remember, Jazz isn't a bum. Like, Jazz is not no bum. Like, I'm not saying he's rich, but he probably got a decent.
I don't know about that either. Now, that part of the father story, I didn't believe to be true. Because the reason why I say that is, you remember when Aunt Viv came in and told Lou what to say?
Yep.
To Will?
Yep.
And he said that. So to me, I don't feel like it was coming from an organic place. Yeah. I don't feel like it was coming from a genuine place. I feel like he was just trying to latch on to whatever would make Will comfortable with him. Yeah. But I don't really believe that to be the truth. I don't believe that the father really wanted to see it because Will said, well, you've been in California all this time.
Right.
And you've been out all this time. Why haven't you tried to look for me?
Exactly.
So I'm not going to put that on the family out. Part of it is that he wanted to stay away. And the other part of it is that the family did deny him the opportunity to learn about his father.
I think that the father didn't. I'm gonna just go right on ahead and say it. I don't think the father had any thought. I think he did what he did and moved on and was like, "Vi gonna raise the boy, and I'm gonna just go on about my way." I don't think that he had any second thought about Will. I'll be honest, and the reason why I feel that way is because when he had an opportunity to sit down and talk to him, like you said, the conversation wasn't organic, but also how he was able to quickly start cussing this boy out. You don't know him from a can of paint, and you're the adult in this situation. You've been missing from his life for all of these years. You're the one at fault in this situation. You're not taking accountability. the way that you're being hostile with him is
right.
You went from 0 to 60. So I don't, and somebody who's remorseful, somebody who actually cares about you, somebody who's trying to build a relationship
is going to anticipate that.
Right. You're going to anticipate he's going to cuss me out. I don't know how he's going to respond to me, but I'm prepared for whatever he's going to give me. But I'm here to sit in it because I'm owed that, because I wasn't here, but I'm here still to forge the relationship. No matter how many times he cussed me out, no matter how many times he ignored me, whatever. He wasn't ready for that. He still got his defenses up, and he cussed the boy out himself. I'm like, he wasn't.
And threatened to put hands on him.
Yes, and threatened to put hands on your own son.
Yeah,
no,
that you hadn't seen in God knows how many years.
Right. I think he was just there to see if he could potentially maybe get a payout.
Payday. Yep.
You know what I mean? So if he could try to get in with his son,
and I guarantee you, had they offered him money to stay away, he would have stayed away.
He might have been waiting for that. That's
what he came for.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, really.
No, I just wanted to. So honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they already did. I don't think it's an accident that he stayed away, and I think that the story is deeper than what they told us and what we found out. I think that's part of where the whole thing with Jack got so mad at Jeffrey. I do. I think the story is deeper. I think whatever happened is what we found out. And that might be part of the reason why his father reacted the way he reacted, and why he stayed away. I think they might have been paying him to stay away.
That may be,
but I don't know. I think we get into predictions. My prediction is that father story is way deeper than what we got season.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem
because I remember thinking it was deeper last season. I was like, there's more to it than this.
Yeah, there's more to it. And you know what, really be, you make a very good point, because his reaction to how they were living, he didn't seem surprised by any of that. He didn't seem to be enamored with any of all that. He seemed like he knew that they were already rich. He knew that they were living well. So I agree. I think that they probably had already been paying him off. Now, Vivian may not know about it, but I think Uncle Phil and his clandestine way of moving have been depositing some money into Lou's account.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I agree.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that. What about Phil? Do you think that he's going to really quit trying to run for DA, or?
Well, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
What about his next venture? Because he's too ambitious to just be sitting home watching kids. Like, what's going to happen to him in the next?
He's going back into private practice. I think he's going to go back into private practice, but I think what their story arc is going to be. Go ahead.
I couldn't hear you say you thought he went where now? Really be? I couldn't hear.
Me?
Yeah,
no,
what you just said.
I think he's got some revenge. Yeah, I think he's revenge where he might. I think he's definitely done with the election. Oh, but he got something waiting for his old friend. I think that's not done. That's not done.
Oh yeah, and because he's still a lawyer and he still can practice law, I think he's going to find a way to drop a dime on something. He's going to uncover something about Fred that's going to probably get him kicked out of the DA's office, and then maybe he'll slide back in and make a play for it. But I think he's going to deal with Fred. But I think what he's really going to do is spend some time trying to figure out what's going on with his wife and Mr. Steal Your Girl. I think he's going to be in the background trying to figure out where this is going, which takes me to my predictions. Do we think that Aunt Viv is going to cross that line?
I think so.
I think so too.
No.
I think so.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I think she's going to come close. I think it's going to close, but I don't think she will.
Even if coming close is cheating to me. But, everybody got to.
What I hope they don't do, because this is
it goes. It goes. Yeah, I'm not. I just don't think that it's. I don't think he's going. But I agree. Is she going to cross some lines? Yes. Is she going to go cross the major line? I don't think so. Is she going to come close? Maybe.
what I hope that doesn't happen, but I have to keep in mind that this show is a lot darker. And what I'm hoping doesn't happen is he don't try to take something that don't belong to him. Because they made a point. They made a point.
Oh my God, you're right. With the other girls.
Yes.
Oh my God.
They made a point about the other female artists and how things happen to them.
Yep.
And not only that, but they made it a point that when she took this fellowship, that she was going to have to be traveling. How much do you want to bet he gonna show up at every one of her speaking appearances? And I hope that they don't cross that line where he try to take something that don't belong to him. Because then he's going to get unalive.
That now see that might.
Jeffrey.
And the reason why I say that is that's going to be a good way to get rid of his character off of this show. Because we got to get ready for him to be in Power.
Yeah.
Because he's getting ready to be in Power Book 3.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Don't trust him on that show neither. Don't trust him. Don't trust the character that
I think he's gonna find himself unalive this season. Is what I think is gonna happen to Reed. I think he's gonna find himself unalive.
You know what? Now that makes sense. Okay. I mean, I'm not wishing that on anybody, not even a character, but I can see that. Yeah, I can see that happening.
I can see him getting to a point where she's probably going to be flirting with him. He's going to be flirting with her, and he's going to think that she down with the get down. He's going to cross that line, and she's going to reject him.
Yep.
And then in that moment of rejection, he's going to remind her that you wouldn't be where you're at right now if it wasn't for me.
Yep.
I got you back into the art world. I got you this fellowship. Pay what you owe. He's going to try to take something.
Yeah,
he's trying to take something that don't belong to him. It's his character. He's typecasted. Every role that he plays some sleazy, no good character. I can see him trying to take something that don't belong to
him. You're right, King Retro. This dude almost never has his own girl. You're absolutely right.
Right. I do think that Jeffrey's going to end up. It might not happen initially. Maybe by episode 4. I think Jeffrey's going to get his job back. He's going to be back in the family again.
What about Hillary? The whole Social House thing. I'm interested to hear your prediction on this girl.
She's gonna have another brick. She's gonna have another bag of bricks dropped on her because that girl gonna want double what Kylo want. So Kylo wanted $50,000 to pay her to get out of that contract. She's gonna want $100K. It ain't gonna work out the way she think it is. That girl Karuchi's character, something's gonna happen with that, and that's not gonna be a white picket fence. It may start off going well. It may start off, and Hillary may let her defenses down, but I think ultimately it's gonna be some dirty business that happened with that. That girl gonna flip on her some kind of way, especially if she becomes more successful.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I just hope not. I don't want to spend another season on this. Like, okay, she's talented. She went viral. She's an influencer. Okay, she made a bad decision. But don't disagree with you that could be what it. I just don't want it to be because I'm like, okay, we did this. I just feel like that storyline. I feel like we exhausted that storyline.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. It's old. What about, and I don't know if y'all, maybe this might have been just a little bit of, theatrics, but the Jazz and Karuchi Tran's character, they were kind of flirting a little bit at the bar.
I saw that.
And so Hillary was looking like, what the hell going on with y'all? Do y'all think they're going to do anything with that? Or maybe that was just.
Yep. And that's where it's going to start the beef between her and.
That's what I thought. I thought.
Because Hillary somewhat rejected him.
Yeah. I mean, they ended up sleeping together, though. They ended up becoming intimate, but
she kind of rejected him a little bit, and she emasculated him.
She did.
She emasculated him.
She did.
What better revenge than to go lay up under your homegirl?
Oh man, she did it twice actually, and the camera like panned in on him. It was a time where he was like, "I can take you to my house. I can make you some food. I can try to, show you a little." He's basically trying to show her him, right? And she was like, or we can just go to this bungalow. And I was like, oh my God, Hillary, no, he was trying.
We had a fit about that in the review. Yep, we had a fit about that in our review. Okay. And not only that, she emasculated him when he was down at the club trying to help her get out of that contract. She was like, go get the drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
and she asked him to come to be her backup.
Help
and
her,
she flipped on him.
Yep, she flipped the script on him.
Yeah. So I think maybe he might. I mean, of course he's gonna get the draws. If she giving it to him, he gonna take it, right? But I think he might not respect her as much as he originally did. I don't know. I'm
Xavier, that's a good plot twist. So
but yeah.
He thinks that, and you called her that during our review too, Xavier. I remember that.
Not the White Hawk.
When we reviewing the show. I think something is going to happen with, I don't even know what the lady name was. I want to say it's Angela, maybe. I don't know.
I think it was.
Why they give? I don't know what the lady name was. Unimportant character.
Right. I like Xavier's name. White Hawk. I like that.
Yeah. She may be unalive. I don't know. I don't know. He might start cheating on her. You never know.
Okay.
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Agreed.
What do you think is going to happen with Carlton this season? Are we going to get some evolution with Carlton?
I think so.
I think his character is going to evolve just a little bit. I think we're going to see a little bit more transitioning with Ashley and this whole trying to find herself. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to continue to try to get Will back into the family, but I think that's going to take some time. I don't think that he's going to be back episode 2. Mm-mm. Maybe 3 or 4. He might be back in the house again. Maybe since the pool house is empty, maybe they move into the pool house. I'm thinking that's where they're going with that, since Hillary was in the pool house and she moved out. Mm-hmm. But I'm just ready for season 2. I'm ready for it to start. I'll be here. We'll be back on Friday nights, guys. We'll be reviewing Bel-Air on Friday nights. So y'all make sure, if y'all don't got Peacock, go on here and subscribe.
It's real good. It's worth it, y'all.
It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. It's better than some of the other things that we have on TV right now. So it's worth the watch. Give it a go. If you haven't watched season 1, go ahead and start with season 1 first. Give it a go, because again, it's not a comedy. So all our expectations going in for this show, leave them at the door.
Yes.
Because there are some similarities, but at the end of the day, it's a whole different story that they're telling in this series. And I think I like the direction that they're going. Any final thoughts?
Nope. I'm just excited. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Yep. I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ready. I'll be here. What is it? 8:00 tomorrow? Oh, this is another thing I want to ask y'all. Do y'all think, or does anyone know if they're dropping all the episodes at one time?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know.
I hope not. I hope that they give it to us like how they did last season. Last season, they gave us the first 3 episodes and then went weekly.
It looks like they're just doing one episode, because I'm looking at IMDb and it looks like the first episode is to air obviously tomorrow, and then the second one is Speaking Truth, but it doesn't have any others.
Air date.
Yeah, it doesn't have any other air date except for that first one.
Oh, good, Xavier. Xavier says they're doing it weekly. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. I don't want this binged. I want to review this week by week. I want to watch this week by week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, ladies. Y'all got anything else on your mind? Any other housekeeping? Belle, plug yourself in. So folks where to find you.
Yeah, check me out at the Bell Perspective TV. I am reviewing books, movies, TV shows, all kinds of drama on TV. So what am I thinking? I can't think of it.
Are you going to review this as well?
Yes, I'm probably going to review this as well. There's also another show on Peacock coming out called The Queens something. They're hooking up Evelyn Lozada and Tamar Braxton and one other girl. Olivia. Yes, I'll be reviewing that as well. So check me out, Bell Perspective TV.
All right, over here, we are going to finish up Best Man Final Chapters. We got one more episode to do with that, and we're done with it.
Come on! Come
I know we've been dragging. My co-host is busy. Me in a
oh yeah,
getting
these checks. I'm not mad at it.
Don't put it on me. Don't put it on me.
It's a combination of both of us. But we're gonna get it together and get the last one out. We also we got a lot of true crime cases that we have been following. So we're gonna. I know we say this all the time, but for real, we are going to get back on our true crime because we got a lot of cases that we want to talk to you guys about. We're going to be doing book 3, of course. And we probably got some other things that we're talking about doing. We're trying to get King Retro up here to talk to y'all about BMF. That's his lane. He's supposed to be doing BMF. But and then of course you can follow us over there on the Soul Firm channel, the Soul Firm, where we do all our sneaker stuff over there. So you can come check me, Juggernaut, and Fresher Highness out over there. And of course, we got the Queen herself, the First Lady of TSFE, doing her thing over there at the Really BTV experience. So we appreciate y'all hanging out with us tonight. And we'll see y'all back on Friday.
All right. Good night, y'all.
Night.
Peace.